Okay, so I am actually in the process of driving home from work. I am considered an essential staff member, so I sort of have to be on campus here and there. And I haven't done one of these videos in a long time because everything has been chaos. And I think I'm actually going to try to post this one. We'll see. But if you're actually watching this, if I actually do get up my nerve and post this online, I do these a lot. I actually record myself sort of processing the moment, politics and, you know, what's happening in real time. And I just kind of record myself so I can talk out loud and have a record. And it's a little bit hard for me to go back. I've rewatched a few of these over the last couple of weeks, and it's pretty rough thinking about the things that we thought were going to be important, and how that has really changed a lot. But what I want to talk about today is flat out racism. And I want to caveat the discussion that I'm going to have here. I'll talk mostly about racism, but a little bit about sexism as well. And I need to caveat this with, I understand that I am capitalized by my race, and I am capitalized by my bodied and ascribed and felt gender. So these are my pontifications coming from that point, and it is not meant to circumvent other insights, but rather to just talk about how I'm thinking about these things in this moment. And I welcome your feedback if it is constructively discoursed. So as I watch the unelected president of the United States, the man who was sworn in as president, but who I believe was elected illegitimately, Donald Trump, bumble his way through the response to COVID-19. And as all of our lives are turned upside down by his incompetence, and I watch him in these daily press briefings talk over and over about what a great job he's doing and his grievances with not being given credit for doing better. And we've seen this throughout his presidency, right? And it occurs to me that, again, with all of the caveats in place, that this may be one of the purest forms of racism that I've ever seen. I have relatives who are overtly racist, right? I'm not like Beverly Tatum kind of racist, like we're all part of a racist system, but like overt racists. I mean, we'll drop the N-word at will, and, you know, but their racism is based on animus, right? It's based on a frustration, but a fundamental assumption that people of all colors are basically equal and able, but that people of color are, if they're equally able, then why do they need structural leg ups? You know, why do they need these structural plus ones? And of course, you know, my response is, well, there are historical precedents to these things, and there are reasons structurally why racism is still baked into the sauce, and that's at many levels, and we can deconstruct that at many levels. But they sort of fundamentally say, well, you know, if we now, unlike before, believe that all people of all colors are equal, then just everybody just be equal, right? And that ignores the structural parts of it. But what I see happening with the president is different. It feels different than the racism that I seem to encounter in my family, right? And that is an assumption that at his core, because he is male-bodied and because he is white, that he is, in a tautological way, superior. And therefore his actions are superior and correct. Now, he also has sort of not narcissistic complex, but what I would think of as solipsistic complex. He truly does not seem to have gotten to the developmental stage that most 5-year-olds get to, where he understands that the world does not wind up when he walks into the room and de-animate when he leaves the room. He truly believes he is the center of the universe. So everything else is just like a toy for him to spin, right? We don't have to get into the psychology of that piece of it at this moment. So part of that is just, you know, his sort of rampant narcissism / solipsism. But I also think there's a racism to it that is really dark and creepy. And a true belief that everything his predecessor, you know, the black guy, who is clearly inferior because he was the black guy, like, by definition, everything he achieved through sheer dumb luck. He was never really tested. The only way a black man could do what, you know, and have a good economy and, you know, fix this and whatever is sheer dumb luck. It's just like, yeah, that was going to happen anyway, and he just sort of sat on and maybe didn't mess it up as much as, you know, he might have. And that by definition, whatever his response is the best. Is the best. And part of that is just because he's a solipsist and he's Donald Trump, but part of that is because he truly believes that, like, he's male and white. So this is what sort of empowers him to say these things where he says things like a nasty woman. Because I think he truly believes at his core that everybody kind of believes that too. He believes that's the sort of shared belief of the universe. So when he calls, you know, Hillary Clinton a nasty woman, he assumes that everybody's with him. Like, oh yeah, women shouldn't be talking to a man that way. And when he says, well, the media is unfair and attacking me and you're a fake because you're asking me hard questions, he assumes that everybody's with him, because how dare anybody attack him? Of course what he's doing is right. By definition, what he's doing is right, because he's a white dude. White, male-bodied, you know, probably straight guy, although I'm sure he seems a little less aggressively homophobic, but, you know, it's probably they're baked in there too. And that's pretty dark stuff. I mean, racism at all levels is pretty dark stuff, but this is pretty grim, if that is really what's going on. And what's even a little more grim, I would have always thought that there was 15 to 20% of the population, of the U.S. population, that was sort of with him. And I sort of like, yeah, it's a number I'm uncomfortable with, how high it is, but it's small enough to where it's always going to be 2 standard deviations from the mean. But that number appears to be 40%. That's like his kind of threshold. He never drops below 38, and he never goes above 40, maybe 46% approval. But 38 seems to be a floor, you know, and that's, you know, within, you know, the margin of error to 40. That's also pretty damn grim. That's pretty fucking grim. So these are the things that I'm noodling on. Look forward to your feedback if you have any. Be well, be safe, be good to each other, please let me know how I can be a better person. Thank you.